this is just working out wonderfully at the moment for Liquid. 14-13, countdown is on, and there is absolutely no way they're getting out of this round.
No, not at all. The clock is already drained all the way. Now Lucas can only just hope that he can hold on to this AK, but CTs are going to be swarming him. He's even actually taking this fight even though the clock is expired. Why, though? Your window was already gone to actually go for kills at that point, I feel like. Really probably should have stayed hidden. I don't know. He did have low HP. Maybe you feel like you're getting chased down. You got to give yourself a chance, but yeah, just didn't work out there. Liquid just picking them apart with those CSATs all across the map. I think that initial fight at Arch was the most damning. You know, getting the kill and doing a lot of damage to a second player, really whittling down the life force of Immortals. And look at Immortals, they're already basically saving, right? I mean, yeah, a couple of pistols, but no armor, no utility. They've already conceded. They want to make sure they can get their money going for the future round. It means that Liquid have a great chance at an 11th.
Yeah, the problem being, though, is obviously Lucas's death has left them in a situation where he's going to have no money coming in. Like, obviously, in the last round, he gets nothing, so he's going to be behind when it comes to the economy game, and this sort of round is just going to be perfect for Liquid to actually build up that cash early on Elise with that trusty once again. And now Steel, the only man left alive, looking to at least try and get somebody down. He's going to pre-fire, but nothing he can do. No armor. Aim punch will remove him. And flawless round coming in for Liquid.
Lucas dropped from the server, but he did get right back in, so no need for any type of technical pause, which is nice. But Immortals still not going to have a whole lot to work with in this round. We'll see if they can't top themselves off with a little bit of firepower, but someone like Lucas and Henny are taking full Glock saves, so just putting a little bit of investment on a couple players that had enough money to do so without it kind of hamstringing the team. Obviously making sure they can get that full buy in the next round, so Liquid have really kind of bracked Immortals, so to speak, to make sure they can get a couple of easier rounds early on in this half. And they're already up to no good in the departments.
Yeah, just these UMPs going aggressive, farming up as much cash as humanly possible. The push will come in, but at the moment it's looking like we may just be getting another flawless style round. At least Steel will ruin that at the very last second by taking off the head of Twist, but his situation is just hopeless. Gonna go jumping through the smoke. The Stan is there to finish. 4 players alive. Money built up already for this CT side. And finally, we're going to have a buy on the board for the Ts.
Yeah, and usually Immortals are a slower paced team on this map. Usually just play default banana control, apartments control, and just kind of work from that once you get kind of your foundations. Obviously, players like Henny, though, can be very aggressive and just try to be a playmaker and assert themselves. And so you certainly could see them taking some aggressive duels in certain areas of the map. But in general, they play at a slower pace. So maybe not as fast as what you saw from Liquid throughout the majority of the game. But Lucas wasting no time making sure that he's holding off top banana, trying to put in some damage to the smoke, not allow them any space to just kind of suffocate them on this side of the map. Have Steel, you know, getting control of window room. Or was thinking about it, actually dropped down, now just kind of chilling out for a second, but now he will go for it.
Man, this... Well,
taking off
2 players currently sat. His situation is just hopeless. Going to go jumping through. Just going to be waiting for this push to come in. But the rotation is going to take way too long. And Liquid already are going to be out of this round by the looks of things. The rotation will be in, but they're going to have to find something very, very quickly. There's Stan looking up. Actually spots Bolt. Doesn't quite manage to finish him. With money in their sight, they could actually go for something here. Henny holding the angle is actually going to miss the shot completely, allowing them to get a little bit closer, and it looks like Liquid may still be trying to find something in this round. A lot to do. Actually going to go spraying through the glass, hoping that they can get a little bit of luck on their side. But at the moment, the Ts are just waiting patiently. They don't have a whole lot of utility to play with at the moment, but the thing is, the smokes are just holding them back. Lucas will get one. Stan trying to push back in, but it'll be JDM to fall, and if anything, just keeping this AK in play seems like the right idea. We'll even remove the AWP from Henny as well, which that's going to be massive.
Yeah, because they won't have one next round now. No one can afford one. So that's big. That takes a big tool out of the box of Immortals, so to speak. To not have that in play, their options maybe just a bit. But well done. Immortals just kind of walked in the banana, right? Like they didn't really meet any resistance anymore. Liquid kind of bailed back into the site. And they just walked in, and Lucas actually peeked out before the spawn smoke went down. So I think he caught a timing that Liquid didn't expect. Came a little bit earlier than maybe Liquid anticipated. Was able to get a nice opening pick because of that. So well done by Lucas. Good intuitive play there from him on that timing. And so, Immortals do have another round on the board. Still 4 away, though, from tying this thing up, and Liquid's still able to put in a pretty good purchase. In fact, they have the better buy in this round, despite the fact that Immortals won the
players
previous.
alive. Money built up already for this CT side.
Well,
And
that
finally,
second
round, we're going to have a buy on the board.
for the
Enable them
teams.
to get a lot of money
usually
built up, but
Immortals are a
again,
slower-paced team on this
going to be
map.
that
Usually
early
just play
kill
default
going
banana
the way
control,
of the
apartment
T
controls,
side,
kind
and
of
they're
work from that
once more
you
just
get
looking to try
your
and take
foundation.
control over
Obviously,
towards this B
players
side.
like
They
Vinny,
forced a
though, can be very
rotation
aggressive and just try to be a
already from
playmaker
Stan,
and
leaving
assert
only 2
themselves.
players over towards A.
And so you certainly could still
They're
take
just
some
sitting
aggressive
pretty,
tools in certain
just
areas of
waiting
map,
to
but
see if
in
the CT
general,
will make
they
any
play at a
further
slower
aggression.
pace.
Bolts
So
is going to be
maybe not
sat in
as
this
fast as
corner.
what you saw
Now
from
this should
Liquid
be
throughout the
expected from the
majority of
CT
game.
side, and
Lucas
they're actually
wasting
going to
no
go
time
back and
making
go
sure
for a
that
bit of a
he's
boost.
holding off top banana. Always trying to see if they can't throw a curveball. It's actually going to be a mid-B split here. You can see Immortals had actually already gotten up Arch. Lucas is in the CT spawn. Now, Liquid know this is happening. Stanislaw is positioning himself for the Arch portion of this attack, but it means that his teammate has to try to hold on for dear life while Stan deals with CT spawn. Stan's done pretty well, and Nitro's able to kind of just box himself in. Look at Nitro go. These kills are incredible. He was getting pinched from 2 sides and still wins with the quad kill and basically just wins the round for his team. That was so well managed by Nitro. Holy cow.
Well, the thing there is, without Nitro's performance, that round looked dead to rights. The 2 players on A had yet to move a muscle, even after finding all of the information out that they were rotating through CT spawn. So if he goes down even 1 for 1 or 1 for 2, that's the site completely in the control of the Brazilians. So massive round from him. And
I mean,
now we're
Stan
just
did
gonna
do
see a
well
force.
to get the 1 kill at least to stop Nitro from getting blindsided, to give him a little bit more time to be able to kind of maneuver around, get that 1 kill at banana, and still be able to react to CT. But still, a lot of that was just on Nitro having a great individual effort. And that could be one of the final nails in the coffin for a team like Immortals, who is running out of money at this point. Luckily, in this round, Bolt's able to find an opening pick pretty early on a Liege.
Lucas, with a bit of a pre-fire, does find a bit of damage onto JDM with that AWP. Again, a similar setup to what we saw in the previous round. Once more looking to take over some banana control and possibly to split through. But this time it seems that JDM may be a little bit more aware of that possibility.
So I've been slowed down since Bolt's got the advantage, right? They just want to work this 5-on-4 methodically, but Bolts is going to be the one to start cracking in. But Nitro, he's still alive. He had a big round last round, trying to hold on.
Oh, not quite this time. It is only going to be that 2 for 1. And, well, the difference maker, look at where these T's are holding. They're both waiting for these rotations, just leaving him alone on the site. Nobody going to be able to get through at the moment as Lucas is that second player. So smart from the T side, and as he tries to get through, Steel is already waiting, holding off those rotations perfectly, and that will be another round on the board for Immortals.
It's almost one of those things that's a little bit risky, right? Because if you leave those 2 guys over there, that kind of lightens the load on how much you have to push into B, right? Like, you don't have as many attackers to trade your way in. But luckily, the couple of guys that did go in were able to trade out Nitro. And so all of a sudden, that dice roll kind of pays off, because now you can really cut off those rotates and basically give Liquid no chance in setting up for any type of retake. Liquid's still able to buy up, though. It is a little bit light, 3 UMP, so it's not everything that they could want. But they still have the AWP and JDM's hands, and they're moving him around. He's going to be at B this time, trying to make him dynamic in his positions. And Nitro just keeps finding kills over here on the B side of the map. He's really warmed up on this CT side.
He's been one of the anchors over towards that B side. Actually looks to go aggressive, possibly overstating his boundaries there as he leaves it now into a 4 versus 4. And he's actually one of the rifle players as well.
Yeah, I felt like he just got kind of stuck there in closet and was trying to find a way out and just couldn't. Trying to fade back in. So now we do have a 4-on-4. So the advantage has been kind of wiped off the board. In fact, Immortals is now the one who's really kind of a better spot, right? Usually 4-on-4s are going to favor Terrace. You can do a little bit more with manipulating rotations. Another trade here in middle, and Lucas wins it in a 2-for-1 duel, basically getting both the picks at bracket. So this is great news for Immortals.
All onto Twist, and at range, that UMP isn't so deadly, so we can see he's just going to try and play passive. They clear Pit, leaving this as really the only spot they need to check, and Zach will do just that. Leaves JDM out of this round. Again, may just look to try and find an X. I think 1v3 with an AWP is not the sort of position that he wanted to be in. And actually, in terms of the money now for Liquid, this is where things really begin to become difficult.
Yeah, they did get heavy-handed into that last round, trying to see if they couldn't break and reset Immortals and basically set themselves up for the win, right? If you win this round, basically Immortals have really no money to buy when you go for a map point, but they're probably going to, so they don't want to play for the tie. And so you wind up in a situation where Immortals is just going to do like a double force buy. And so if you're Liquid, you're up against 2 lighter buys to just win the game. And that's what they were playing for. But that didn't work out, right? They've lost this round. All that they'll save is JDM's AWP, and everyone's on very low money, and their own money's been reset, right? They only have a 1 loss bonus coming in. So now they're the ones that are up against the ropes. They're actually going to have to probably just take a save, maybe get a couple of upgraded pistols around the AWP. But this is where Immortals can actually tie this game up now, in the home stretch where Liquid, went for a force buy that did not pay off.
Yeah, a few upgraded pistols. Not a whole lot to play with. 2,400 will be added into the next round, but even then, that's not a particularly good position to be in. JDM will be left around the 3,600 mark, nowhere near enough for that AWP. They're going to have to try and make something work here. He's going very aggressive with that AWP. I like the style. Going to try and get something done, but he's just going to be naded down to oblivion. 28 HP is all that remains. 3 players currently reside in that spot. Twist spamming away, but can't quite connect anything at this moment in time. Zach will get tagged low, but so many players already.
Right. Every gimmick that Liquid went for just didn't pay off, and it's understandable that you would do that in a round like this. You don't have a lot to work with. You have to make risky plays to give yourself a chance to win. And they've done some damage to Zach, and they've definitely slowed Immortals down on a couple of their early pushes. But now as things begin to settle, and Immortals have more time to think about things, they've already done a lot of damage. It's going to be so hard for Liquid to hold on.
AWP has moved, though. JDM now waits to hold off this arch side. They are going to push straight into it, but Lucas just takes his head clean off. Absolutely decimates the AWP, and now we're back to this wraparound once again. The pistols, all that remains as the AWP that was their only hope is gone. And now the rotations from the last couple of players are just trying to capture a gun and leave this site.
From JDM's perspective, that looked like he was in midair when he got killed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Lucas did actually land and got the bullet just as soon as he landed. Obviously, sometimes it can look a different way depending on what perspective you're watching from. But yeah, that looked like a midair headshot, so it's pretty insane. Definitely, if you're JDM, you're probably a bit triggered that happened like that. It looked like he had him dead to rights, and then just gets absolutely waxed in the face. So this is what we were talking about, right? Liquid now have to tap out, and so Immortals actually, even though they've been well behind the majority of this game, here all of a sudden, in the last few rounds, they've been able to fight right back. These last 5 rounds, basically, been a huge difference maker for Immortals.
It's just going to be this straight slaughter in middle. Dan will be able to get a couple, in fact, actually doing some damage, but still peeks back out, finishes him off, and now Nitro, no armor, CZ to play with. Not really expecting to see too much. Actually gone rotating over towards the A site, but you can see Immortals after that initial push have just slowed down. They don't want to walk into this pistol.
Yeah, don't give Nitro a chance. Now, at some point, you don't want to keep taking one-on-one duels. You want to gather up and just trade them out. For now, they're just going to kind of hold angles and wait for Nitro to push. They have plenty of time to kind of, make Nitro uneasy. Been spotted now by Lucas as well. Being patient with the trigger as well. Not even giving Nitro the slightest hint that they know where he is, but they definitely know what's going on now.
It's all going to come down to just that little bit of timing.
Hello.
Worst possible. That's something that will make you jump out of your chair. Nitro finished off, and well, the bomb in the meantime was already going over towards B, so it was never in contention that round. But here is the
don't always expect jump scares to be in Counter-Strike, but that certainly is one of the rare occasions where it can be. Like, am I playing Outlast 2 or am I playing CSGO? I'm not really sure now. Only could have frightened him, but what is frightening is his comeback effort from Immortals. I thought they were well out of this game, and now all of a sudden, we're in a tight race here at the end.
Yeah, so much so that Liquid have actually called themselves a tactical pause. So going to take some time to actually switch things up. They did actually save an extra round just to make sure they have everything in play. WP onto JDM. Is there anything in particular that you feel they need to be changing?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think that they've obviously just got caught in a bad way the last few rounds because their economy's been so in disarray. You know, they went for a force that didn't work. It kind of made them have to save a couple of rounds. So I think that's been the biggest problem is just, you know, their economy. Because, I mean, they were on quite a run there, right? Between rounds 2 and, 5 of this half. They won 4 out of those 5 rounds. So they're doing great. They just eventually kind of got tapped out. So I don't think that they've really done anything wrong other than run out of money. Obviously, handling banana exchanges is always going to be a big point of maybe trying to figure out do we want to maybe get it more heavy. Maybe trying to figure out do we want to maybe get it more heavy-handed there, maybe actually use some utility. Handed there, maybe actually use some utility. Gonna have Nitro with the AWP at banana. Gonna have Nitro at middle with the AWP at banana. They're gonna keep JDM at middle called for in the timeout. So that is the adjustment.
Heavy utility usage as well early on in this round. Actually going to be the coffin spot. Actually, no, that's a different play. He's going to be just playing over towards sort of Krepes, just waiting for them to try and push in, holding the angle towards Banana, but very passively held. I was expecting after the deep smoke maybe some aggression to come out from the CT side, and I think the T's did as well. They're just waiting patiently to see if anybody is down at the moment.
Now, I haven't seen Liquid's most recent Inferno games, like maybe the last 2 times they've played it, but when I was watching them play it a little bit further back, double AWP was not something they broke out very often on the CT side, if at all. Like, I've very rarely seen Nitro have an AWP at Banana. Usually if there was an op at Bananas because JDM was kind of rotating over there because he does like to move around. So this may catch Immortals off guard. To see 2 ops is probably not something they're going to be very familiar with against Liquid.
A hit looking inevitable already. A decent position from Steel, in fact, getting himself deep into the apartments area. And the rest of the team are just gathering up towards this mid shot, jumping straight in. They've only got 30 seconds to play with, leaving it pretty late into the round. JDM is going to hit that first shot. Actually flicks straight back, spots Steel, but Lucas on the entry is able to trade things back to a 4 versus 4. Another for Steel as well, and while this has just crumbled in a matter of seconds as the Brazilians have completely dominated all of the information out.
They really have. This was like a clear-cut round where it was going to be a full battle. Liquid didn't have any excuses. They had everything at their disposal, and this is where I feel like Immortals have really finally proven themselves in this half. Yeah, sure, they've been on quite the winning streak. They've been against a lot of low buys. This time, they went head-to-head with full firepower, and Immortals were just the better team on the round, winning all their duels, breaking through lane. Yeah, JDM got the 1 AWP pick, but that was really all that they found in the round. Penislaw lost a really key fight in middle against Bolts. That got really awkward. Maybe if he wins that, things go a bit differently. At least Liquid have some type of foothold into a retake, but it did not come to be. And so now we have a tie game. So Immortals have really been popping off lately, and now we have ourselves a tight race.
Yeah, I suppose the one advantage of having a double op setup is it means that they can just throw one straight over to JDM. And Nitro will actually have enough to buy up another rifle. Imagine they're going to go for something in this round. It seems like they definitely have the cash to do so. And yeah, in fact, it will go over. But actually, they're not going to fully invest. They're not going to risk it. Even with 2 surviving, they could have dropped 1 bot up at UMP. But they've decided they want to have all the goodies going into the next round.
Yeah, this would have been one of those things where, yeah, sure, Nitro saved armor and he could have bought a rifle, but then he would have had no utility. And utility is so important to have in full gun rounds, especially on that side of the map. So instead, they're just going to kind of take a save. They'll get some upgraded pistols and half armor, but they're going to make sure they can get a full buy in the next round. Everything that they could want. So not a bad call from Liquid. They still have enough to work with to perhaps still get the win if JDM or Leash pops off or a deagle shot lands from Stanislaw or something like that. Still will scary around the fight against if you're Immortals. Point.
Does look like gathering up as a team again. It seems to be more of that sort of factor. In the earlier rounds, they were definitely going for more of like a hold on, like try and take round the arch side and really pincer together. But in the last few, they've just been gathering up as a team, working those trades effectively. Nitro will be up close, looking like it'll be a 1-for-1. And again, it's going to be all onto Elige, and he gets absolutely nothing done. Stan rotating in, only has a deagle to play with, so may as well try and get something into this next round. But I wonder if JDM's just going to look to save, because the chances are dwindling of them coming away with anything in this round. And Penny's just going to absolutely decimate him, and Stan will go down as well. So 14-13, 4 players surviving once again for Immortals. And, well, now the buy comes back in, but it could be the last on the board for Liquid.
Really well done by Immortals there, just kind of cracking through all of that, particularly just taking over B with ease. And yeah, I think JDM was definitely looking to save the AWP, no doubt about that. He was actually holding a pretty safe angle, but Henry just hits a nasty shot, so it just doesn't matter. He's just in that type of form right now in this half where everything seems to be clicking for him. Lucas is doing incredible work as well. He's had a lot of entries on this. So, I mean, Immortals are really starting to find their footing here. They've won now the last 6 rounds in a row. Liquid do go back to WWP, but a lot of their money's in this round. This is their big chance. If Immortals can clear them out here, they have a great chance just to go ahead and win, because Liquid will be pretty low on funds in the next round if they lose here. Look at this, Lucas just slipping through. I don't even think they realize what he's done.
Yeah, they're so busy actually setting up a boost of their own that, oh, this could just be absolutely horrific, because now JDM's gone back to actually holding off this spot. They have absolutely no idea that he's just snuck all the way through. This is just absolutely horrible for them. And, well, Nitro's going to be spotted. That'll be 1 player down. I think that's going to be a surprise for them. And now only 1 player left again. Elige on the site to try and deny them this push. He's going to spray away. Does damage, but can't quite connect. JDM will be able to get one on the cross. Of course, no smoke actually down. It's been missed by quite a margin once again. I think that actually helps them get that first kill, but other than that, it has been a bit of a bane for them. Twist pushing back in. It's not been his game today, and he will be out of the round as well. And 15 is looking so inevitable at this point. JDM needing someone to make a mistake, and they're just peeking 1 by 1, just trying to bait him out. Lucas will connect. Another triple kill for him, and Stan, I think, has no choice but to fall back.
Lucas has just been so on point. It hasn't even just been the aim. It's also just been his intuitive senses, like finding the correct timing window to peek or push something has been incredible. Like we saw that one round, remember, at Banana, where he peeked before the smoke goes down CT spawn. He gets like a good timing on someone in B in awkward space. And in that round, he slipped through Arch somehow. It just so happened to be that Liquid had a little bit more focus on lane for just a few seconds, and that was the few seconds that Lucas chooses to skate up and just waltz into CT spawn completely under the noses of Liquid. And he just absolutely secures that round for his team. And now we see the repercussions. Liquid, they scrape the bottom of the barrel to put together a buy, but it's obviously not so appealing. They put a lot of money into that double AWP. It hasn't paid off. Now they're just on FAMAS and UMPs.
Look at the damage already done. That nade. Oh, goodness. Bolts. Just looking to finish this here and now. It's been 7 rounds in a row on the T side for Immortals. Now looking to finish this off with round number 8.
What a comeback from Immortals. It's been so well played. Again, I put a lot of credit to Lucas. He's played so well throughout this game. Obviously, some of the others have also had quite the form as well. As Lucas tries to finish it off, but Stanislaw has a nice little boost there. Does, in fact, get the kill. So Liquid aren't out of it just yet. They still could force an OT. They can connect these 2 rounds. Bolts begins to ease his way into B. Flash coming through to help him in. Let's get caught with a boost, but still Immortals making headway, and now they have it.
Dan and Twist. The last hope for this CT side. Dan even quite far behind, in fact, on this retake. They don't have a kit to play with. There is a hell of a lot to do if they want anything, and I think Twist just hoping someone's going to push into his crosshair while he waits for his teammate, but I think even they know that this is just not going to be happening again. Henny lined up with the AWP. Will finish off these remaining 2 players, and an 8-round streak brings this game all the way back from 13-8 all the way into the victory for Immortals. They take Inferno, as was necessary for them, and I think just looking at the scoreboard, you could see like there's been a lot of impressive performances on the board.
Yeah, so well done. Again, huge props to Lucas. Almost drops 30 on the game. He had the big deagle around the CT side in the first half that at least gave Immortals something to work with in that half, and then he was so huge on T side, finding entries all over the map. So a lot of props to him. 108 ADR to boot across the almost 30 kills. So definitely a great game. Once Henny got his money in order and got the AWP on CT side, he was pretty brilliant for the rest of that half. Really helped him get some of those rounds towards the end of the first half. It was obviously big on T side as well. And then Steel, he was kind of quietly always finding kills as well throughout the game. Didn't really highlight his name a lot, but he was certainly putting in the work, doing his job and finding kills on a consistent basis. So they definitely got a lot out of them. Liquid will definitely be shaking their heads though, because not only should they probably have won more rounds in the first half than 9, based on how we were seeing things play out. I mean, they had full control of this game. I mean, they were up 13-8. I mean, that's a game you should definitely close, and then they just lose, 8 rounds in a row and lose the game. Granted, their economy really got out of hand. Like I said, they took kind of a little bit of a gamble by one round on a bunch of UMPs, trying to see if they couldn't just basically force Immortals out of the game right away there towards like round 7 and 8 of the second half. But that didn't work out, and so they had to take a couple of saves, and that gave a chance for Immortals to creep back into the game. And they lost some key full gun rounds in the latter parts of the half that just ended it. Lost some battles over at middle. Started to
enquanto aqui o Showtime vai ser eliminado pelo Slay. E o Rasgo aqui vem avançando, hein? Vem avançando, procurando aí dentro do site. Vai contra o Dash, vira bastante, mas consegue. Abate pra cima do Dash. Agora o 3x3 do LG. Olha que bela bala do VRX pra cima do PKX, sobrando apenas o Biel. E o SNZ, enquanto aqui o Showtime será a equipe mais próximo a partir do momento. Consegue se abate, agora vai fazer uma dor. O PRX já consegue a pesca e derruba aí o Rasgo. Sobe apenas o PRX, vai dar um
Biel jogou certinho como manda o regulamento, mas um puro mérito do BRX esse round. Ele conseguiu matar o cara logo depois do plant, depois pegou mais 2.
O kill feed aí, enquanto aqui o Showtime vai ser eliminado pelo Slay. E o Rasgo aqui vem avançando, hein? Vem avançando, procurando aí dentro do site. Vai contra o Dash, vira bastante, mas consegue. Abate pra cima do Dash. Agora no 3x3 do LG. Olha que bela bala do PRX pra cima do PKX, sobrando apenas o Yel.
Love is why we built a car you can trust, now and for a long time to come. The all-new Subaru Impreza sedan and 5-door. A car you can love, no matter what road you're on. The Subaru Impreza. More than a car, it's a Subaru.
Hey bud, you need some help?
No, I'm good. Come on, Mom. I have to go.
We always trusted our Subaru Impreza would be there for him someday. That's it. We just didn't think someday it would.
O kill feed aí, enquanto aqui o Showtime.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Impreza, the longest-lasting vehicle in its class. More than
People try to put us down.
end, and Immortals wound up closing out the game. So obviously, if Immortals can keep good form, this is certainly another map that they're very fluent on. Again, like we talked about, this is a map that both teams feel comfortable playing, and so certainly the opportunity for a 2-0 for Immortals is still there if they're on good shape like they were in the last map, especially in the last rounds. We are seeing them quickly attack in the drop-down room. Liquid doing a great job holding it off, though. These are some great angles that they have, and Immortals are not able to really break through.
Hello, Twist. Welcome back. Been quiet in the last game, but he's just stepped up big. 4 kills for him in this pistol round, and, well, I definitely think he could be the difference. I think he actually made a tweet after the game just solely blaming himself, saying, no, we lost because of me, and, well, he's already rectified some mistakes, clearly, as a 4K in the pistol round.
Don't think it was just him. I think
no,
everything
neither
kind
do
of
I.
broke down for Liquid there at the end of the game. Certainly he didn't have the best performance, but definitely kind of a team-wide falling apart there in the end of Inferno. But a good start here to win the pistol round on their CT side. We will, of course, see Immortals buying up with the Kin. They didn't get a bomb plan or anything like that, so head armor, Tech 9 buy, pretty common in situations like this. Certainly, Tech 9s are very difficult to deal with, particularly at drop-down room. Can certainly be a handful. That is where Twist is playing. It's one of the reasons why Liquid really liked Twist. He was willing to take spots like this, spots that people didn't really want to play.
What do you think of the SMGs, though? That is heavy. MP9s, UMPs all the way.
Why not?
Looking to make that money, right? Looking to make as much money as possible.
Surprised it isn't just UMPs purely. I know this other SMG has higher rate of fire and it's better against unarmored opponents. But they're not going to run up against anybody unarmored, so I don't know. We'll see. Probably won't matter too much.
Well, so far so good. Nitro, Twist are going to be able to get a couple. Zach will trade one back, and Henny with his trusty CZ in play once again. Jumping headshot onto Alige, but it doesn't quite finish him off. He's going to try and go back with that MP9, which he's salvaged off his opponent. Now, unfortunately, the bomb is in a dire position, and already the rotation is going to come in. They are spotting above drop at the moment. And, of course, it will be Stan. He's going to go back to his CZ just based off the damage rate that you can get with that gun, really hoping for a miracle through these walls.
Yeah, I mean, he's stuck away from the bomb with low time on the clock. Trying to break through any of these tight choke points is going to be so difficult, especially the way Liquid are set up in crossfires. He should really never get a chance to get a bunch of 1v1s out of this. He is edging his way in, though. Does find one 1v1 and actually does find another, but he doesn't have the time. He has to go for the kill. He is going to chase it down. Gave himself a chance. Stanislaw, though, does close the round, but that certainly got frightening as Henny almost pulled that one out. Very close. Came down to the wire there at the end.
Well, like you said, it shouldn't have been possible, but yeah, it's both kills, and that's a big bonus for him as well, which when you know that he wants to get on that AWP, okay, never mind, I guess. Not going for that. They're actually going to force again. Now, this I would say is fairly uncommon. Teams actually going straight into this third round with a buy. Like, they did bring it down to 1 man alive, so I can understand that.
That's the main reason, I guess, is the fact that they know that Liquid had to rebuy a lot, and so their money's almost just as bad as theirs is. I mean, there's only a few $100s separating these players after the purchases that they made. So yeah, just trying to think about, can we shut Liquid down early is the goal here, but Liquid still does have more to work with in a round like this.
So far, it has just been an even trade. Obviously, we still got the AK onto Lucas. He's going to be the man to watch in this sort of circumstance. Actually, they're going to go for the peak, but it's JDM wins the duel. Traded back by Bolts, who can now retrieve that AK. It's being juggled between players, and Steel has actually got another one in the meantime. So back down to a 3 versus 2. This is seemingly working so far. Nitro, he needs to connect the shots, and Bolts is going to get another. So this is all on to Stan. He managed to win the 1v1 last time. A lot more to do in this circumstance, and already being tagged down through. Gonna spray onto Steel, trying to catch him through the door, doing a lot of damage, but not quite enough to really get anything. And I don't think he's gonna be able to get back into the site. May just have to fall out of the round.
It's not looking too good at all here. So well played by Immortals. Their gamble will pay off. They force buy into a round. They're able to keep that AK. They pick up an M4. They pick up a UMP. Liquid is out of money now. They will have to immediately take a save despite winning a couple of rounds in a row thanks to how close the rounds have played out. So yeah, good job to Immortals.
Yeah, one hell of a gamble. I think they actually started off the previous game like that as well, though, where they went for a sort of... It was like a force buy saga up until the point where they lose a couple and you think, okay, they're done, and then they still buy back up again. So this could be based off just having the sort of stand-in that they're taking some of these riskier plays. But to be fair to them, a lot of them are working.
Yeah, they really are. And now they're going to settle into something a little bit more default, right? You are going to see Bolt's usually playing off the B platform. It looks like he's going to be doing that. They have Zach playing with Henny over towards A, which is something that FNX and Henny would sometimes do together as well. So very common stuff here from Immortals, and they're just going to pick up on all this aggression from Liquid. Look at that. Bolt's just lining up 3 easy frags, and Nitro already taking a hell of a lot of damage here on the platform. Bolt's looking to see if he can't keep the kills rolling, look to see if he can't get the eco ace. Already has 4. Sand, though, well far away from him. Probably somebody else is going to catch him. Still, Immortals will quickly tie up the game.
Yeah, from Stan's perspective, keeping this rifle into the next round would be beneficial for his team. They don't have a huge amount of money to play with even after the loss bonus. He's actually going to make things at least a little costly with 3 players still surviving. You have to wonder again, is this even worth really forcing into for the CT side? Not that much catch really built up even after a couple of rounds.
Yeah, it's probably another round where you just maybe buy a little bit, but you don't shave off too much. You don't want to handicap yourself for your first real full buy. So that's exactly what happens here. You do see a little bit of money being spent, but still a lot saved up, particularly on JDM for the AWP. So this should be a good chance for Moles to find a quick third round. So a great response after losing Pistol to still wind up with an early lead. And really keeping the money limited for Liquid, because you basically had them on a buy-save rotation at this point forward as well. If you win the first gun round, comes up next, and Liquid probably have to save again right away and really start hindering their chances to find rounds and find firepower.
And what we saw on the previous map, at least, their T-side did look a lot more composed. A lot of the time, that can just be the sort of duos playing together. It's a lot easier to sort of say. I think they were sending Zach in first, in fact, a lot of the time, just to almost give them the information, possibly pick up an entry frag. This round, at least, not really expecting too much, and already, well, timing's just going to work wonderfully. They get the first pick into drop, and then the second is just handed. Stan, at least, is going to hit the tag. Every tag he gets, of course, make things a little bit easier for these pistols to work with. But again, 3rd round in a row, he's going to be the last one left alive, and although he's done a lot of damage, it will be a flawless round for Immortals. Every player surviving.
Yeah, I mean, the one good thing about Zach standing in is because he's their coach, he at least knows what's going on, right? It's not as if he's just some random player that you've picked up because you need a stand-in who isn't, like, involved with your team and doesn't know the system that's in place, doesn't know all the tactics that you like to run, all the nades you like to use, things like that. Like, Zach will be very familiar with all of that. And so in that regard, he can slot in. It's just about whether he can bring the fragging to the table or not. Obviously, FNX is a guy who's very consistent, usually able to put up good numbers. That's going to be the disparity, as we are going to see JDM put that AWP to work over on the B side of the map right away, putting a lot of faith in Stanislaw just to hold A by himself to make sure that this AWP could make a presence on this side of the map. As Morals are definitely looking to do something heavy-handed on this B side of the map, but they've been slowed down.
Yeah, ready. Oh. Finding the first steal, will be able to cross, but it's JDM once again. Gets his second. Alesia's there to combine, and after a few flawless rounds coming out for the T's, it's completely reversed when Liquid get back on a buy. Nice hold on the B site. Nothing achieved by the Brazilians.
Yeah, again, that AWP can be so powerful on the B side of the map when you're not expecting it to necessarily be there. And JDM is very mobile. He will play like as an A rotator with it a lot of times. So you don't always know that it's going to be there at B. So when that first guy comes out B platform, that's like almost a free first kill for the Opera on that side of the map, and that's kind of what happened. And then everything kind of slowed down for Immortals, and they wound up just getting caught in the bind. The Liquid, they even the score up immediately, but now Immortals know what they're up against. They know that AWP can be there. Maybe they'll adjust accordingly. They actually have Henny with the AWP. He's pushed up pretty aggressively on B platform. He's already pretty deep up here, holding an angle on the broken wall. Looking to see if JDM is going to do some type of peeking, and actually takes a lot of nade damage because he's flash cannon right now. Ooh, and JDM just peeks him for the headshot. The nade damage doesn't even factor in. Just faster on the trigger is JDM.
Decent start, and again, it looks like this will just slow down the T side a bit. They're going to counter this by attempting to take over drop control, and by the looks of it, the CTs using their man advantage, are just going to hold it from outside. Let them have it for now. And just wait to see if they look to go aggressive in any sort of direction. But the majority of the team are now built up in drop. This is quite unusual. You normally see them building up at least in multiple directions. This is just going to attempt to be a split straight out. And already there's a crossfire in play. It quickly gets dwindled down to just Twist. But that is enough. He picks up 2. Bolt's going to be trying to spam through the door. Does pick up a lesion. Seems to know there's a second player there. Going to go for the rock bounce. Oh, it doesn't quite pay off.
He stays alive when that nade hits Twist. He has a somewhat manageable 1v2, but not coming into fruition. Well played by Nitro and Twist to crossfire up connector. Really handled that window room push efficiently. They will take the lead right back from Immortals, but Immortals still able to put together a buy here. I have AKs across the board. Zach limited just to Tech 9.
I think Elijah
limited utility as well. I think so as well. Probably thought he was going to be up against the stage. A lot of unarmored opponents involved, maybe even. He was wrong.
And this leaves a little bit of a question mark. Like, you look towards the buys, and excluding the AWP, it's actually relatively even now with that MP9 in play. He's going to be playing close to Broken Walls, so it won't be the worst case scenario. We can just sort of spray away. But it just seems like that misread could actually cost them later in the round.
And Immortals just slowing it down and playing default. This is kind of their more bread and butter setup. You know, letting Bolts try to slowly work platform while Lucas and company tries to focus a bit on drop down room. Bolts actually backs off of B though pretty quickly, actually coming to meet up with his team who has A Hall's control. So it seems like they want to split A from drop down room and just, you know, your normal mid slope long A attack, as Lucas has already made it into the drop down room by window already. He's definitely looking to try to hold off rotations, get information, listen to what's going on. Do a lot of different things from this spot. Just depends on how aggressive he wants to get, while the main focus will be over on the other side. But there's a good setup for Liquid over there. They have 3 people already here. I think they have a player boosted on the wall as well on the mid slope, so this could get tricky.
One thing is, there's nobody on the other side of the connector, and while the other thing is Bolts walks out 2 instant headshots. A third will come in for Steel. Lucas trying to hold off the rotation will in fact go down to the trusty MP9 of Elige. But now, again, they're looking for JDM to find them an entry into this round, find an opening, and it looked like he might have some sort of read there onto Zach. Unfortunately, doesn't pull the trigger. And, well, that leaves them out of this round. Elige just going to be saving the rifle. They will be able to buy up with the amount that they've got, especially considering the save weaponry. Nitro will be the only one needing a gun. But decent round coming out. And Bolts with the entries really set them up nicely for that A take.
Yeah, that was really well crafted. That boost that Liquid had in play didn't have any effect, right? I mean, it got completely cleaned up. He didn't catch anyone off guard, didn't get any type of initial kill. So just well handled by Immortals, just being able to push back A-Halls, give themselves a launching pad to play from, and just, you know, really swiftly work their way through. So we have another tie game on our hands. A very scrappy game. No one's streaked together more than 3 rounds. No one's really dominated this half at all. It's been quite back and forth. Liquid had obviously the advantage of winning pistol, but Immortals had the advantage of basically winning most of the gun-on-gun rounds we've seen. Double op is the adjustment from Liquid. Stanislaw will have his over towards the A side of the map. JDM will remain at B. Might even go for a counter boost played. Looking to get a little bit aggressive, try to find something early, but no one will be dropped. In fact, everything's coming long. Elige at least putting down some utility to slow them down, because that could have gotten really scary if the op is tucked in at drop. They just flood long B. As JDM does get a leg shot on the Zach. It has to back down.
Not a bad start, and while the utility usage is really slowing down Immortals at the moment, it does look like they're lining up the wall of smokes onto the site. The tree position, though, does normally negate this, but there's the Molotov. Forces off that boost. There are already 4 players remaining on this site. The patience of the T's, they're just waiting. Possibly trying to sell this as a bit of a fake. They're yet to actually make their way out of the site. There's still 4 players here for this CT side, but here goes that push. Start for Bolts, yet again getting the first kill. Twist trades 1 back. JDM survives much longer than expected, but it's still not long enough. And once again, Stan, the man from A site, only dying 3 times so far in this game, and the reason being is he's always left in these sort of situations. And again, there's not really any chance for him in this round. Just wants to try and save that AWP and maybe take a Brazilian with him.
Immortals basically threw in that sense of doubt, right? Because they didn't immediately hit after they dumped all their utilities. So that meant that Liquid's A player, particularly Stanislaw, didn't feel safe rotating just yet. Because the thing is, you can throw that same smoke wall from middle. That's been something that Threat kind of, you know, published with NIP last year. And so when you see that smoke wall come down, and even though you see some flashes coming in, technically they still could be middle and they could be running up mid slope at any moment. And so that meant that Liquid could never really rotate, and it kind of threw in that sense of doubt. But then they follow it up a little bit later with a couple of more flashes and just find some really good entries. In fact, everyone pitched in on that team that round except for Henny. You had a kill from Zach, Lucas, Steele, and Bolts. So a team effort from Immortals to find a 5th round and take the lead back. And economy starting to dwindle here for Liquid. They just saved that 1 AWP on Stanislaw. Everyone else just working with pistols. Stan will keep the op as well. He won't pass it to JDM. JDM will kind of solo over here towards A and give Stan a chance to try to see if he can't make a play. He's going to go for the counter boost as well, but look at this. Immortals is flooding middle. JDM, he is screwed.
Yeah, completely overwhelmed. And now, while the remaining players just doing their best to try and jump into the site, Molotovs thrown in to try and deny re-entry, but actually Elige will be able to cross. Won't matter though. And look at Steel, the snake in the grass, sprays all 3 down. And, well, deciding whether or not they need that AWP, the answer is no. Henny has one. Flawless again, so all players surviving. Nice money made.
Yeah, WAWP on T side is pretty rare. Like, pretty much the only team that really runs it consistently is G2. So, no surprise he didn't want to pick that up, put it into play. Kind of limits your options a little bit if you have to. You have to play slow. You have to just look for picks. They don't want to do that. They want to be able to explode if they see the opening. As we are seeing Immortals waste no time focusing up pretty much everyone here at Long B. There's no presence middle whatsoever. They really want to work something a bit heavy-handed here at B. It seems all the utility pouring out. Their fire did get extinguished though on the B platform, so they won't clear out that corner the way that they hope. So they'll actually have to check it as they come out.
Again, it's going to be this setup thrown in. This time, because of that Molotov, nobody's actually cleared off this tree, and it doesn't matter though. Nitro is doing so much work. He's got 3 kills yet again. He's gone off in this round, and now Henny 1 versus 4. This man is a marvel with the AWP, but surely this is too much for him to try and achieve. Obviously, keeping things costly for his opponents would be wonderful. They can buy into the round no matter what. The T's won't have any problems with the money, so saving the AWP is a necessary. Lovely shot. Ends Nitro's streak. The remaining players, though, pushing from behind. JDM will deny any further turmoil of the AWP from Brazil.
The Liquid hanging in there. Really well done. Again, that Molotov not being on tree certainly helped. Allowed him to get a couple of kills. Really slow down that B hit from Immortals. They've done a good job with the pacing changes on Immortals, right? We've seen some faster stuff. We've seen some slower defaults, which is a bit more characteristic of this team when they have their full 5. Seems like once again they are going to be opening up fairly default with a little bit of extra presence towards the A side of the map. Steel will solo drop while Bolt solos B, and they really just try to see if they can't anticipate aggression at middle and long A halls. Then eventually look to get control of those halls and push Stanislaw back is going to be the goal here soon.
Bolts tempting a little bit of smoke play. Doesn't work out for him this time. The rest of the team looking to try and take over long control. This time, Stan is set up waiting. Smoke will deny any further push, and actually JDM going to second another to keep them pincered in for now. Still got a little bit of presence over towards drop from Steel. And he's actually going to win the duel versus Twist as well. There's a second player there, but he doesn't really need to challenge. He's turned this back into a 4v4, and once again, talk about that doubt coming in for the CT side. There's still only a couple of players here, but rightly so, because the bomb now makes its way over towards B.
And they do still have Zach in A halls, and Stan did get pushed back, so they still have to honor the fact that there could be players mid and A. JDM does clear out the 1 player, but still they don't feel safe rotating just yet, which means that the defensive B is a little bit lighter, and Henny just jumps down on Nitro like he's playing Mario or something, just Goomba stomps him with the AWP. Elige holding on for dear life. It's a nice kill. It's at least slowed them down a bit.
And this actually gives the rotation full force. A flank already coming in, but Elige is just doing the work alone. Henny once again. JDM holding the angle. There's no chance for him here. Elige will do the work alone. 4 kills in that round. A big round for Liquid as well, securing a 2nd in a row. And in fact, again, it's going to be a hurting economy, but still a couple of players can actually get a buy on the board.
Yeah, Elige handles that very well. He gets stuck by himself when drop-down room control comes in from Immortals, but he manages it to perfection for the most part. Closes it down himself with the quad kill round, so very well played. Again, ties the game back up. Immortals knows money low on Liquid, though, so they want to see if they can't force them to save next round, reset that economy.
Zach actually going to go pushing straight through the smoke. He's going to use the Molotov to actually clear JDM out of position.
They don't know Zach's there, I don't think.
No, they haven't spotted him as of yet. And that will mean that JDM, well, he'll throw the smoke down, gives him another chance to actually repeat. Zach's just going to go out to sort of run and gun man onto the site as the rest of the team push him behind. But there's so many Liquid players already on site. They're just trading back and forward at the moment. Still going to be back into this 3 versus 3. And actually the 2 rifles still survive for this Brazilian side. So at the moment, it's not the end of the world. But there's JDM still surviving for now. But Steel, Henny looking for Stan. Last one left. And somehow they pull this off again. These rounds just with pistols, limited utility. But it's enough.
Well played again by Immortals. Finding ways to break through. Even JDM staying alive in Chicken Coop somehow was not enough. Seeing some great Counter-Strike being played from Immortals, and it comes at just the right times where you're really hampering Liquid's economy. Look at Liquid; they force up what they can because they know that money's on their opponent. So it's this economic game of chicken, basically trying to force the other to tap out, but no one's done it yet, really. This actually sets Liquid back. If they lose this round, they basically have nothing in the next round, the last round of the half, right? So a 9-6 for Immortals can be very likely if they can just make sure they handle this round well. That's a great way to kick it off. Bolts again, this time catching a Liege. Liege got the better of him a couple of times, but it's been kind of an even battle between those two over there.
Got the close Mag 7 play from Nitro. The snacks play, if anything. I think it has to be termed that at this point. That man is ridiculous with the shotgun up close. We'll see if Nitro actually gets any opportunity as the rest of the team seem to be rotating their way back over towards this B site yet again. JDM looking to do the damage with this Imp. He's going to be playing towards Broken Wall. A lot of players looking to come in his direction, and he's going to need to pull something crazy off of Bolts. It's just not going to allow it. These two, Bolts and Lucas, have been phenomenal in this first half. Or in fact, it's more Steel. But either way, massive round from Bolts, 3 kills for him, and Nitro, yeah, he's still got that Mag 7, but he's being flanked as well. May be able to get away with the kill onto Steel, but Steel's just not taking that fight. Gets one onto Bolts, but there's a second. Zach there to finish, and as you said, the likelihood for a 9-6 now skyrockets as the economy is not good.
Definitely not. Both teams have been on edge when it comes to their economy throughout this half, but it's finally Immortals who has strung a couple together in a row and done so cleanly in the previous round. I only lost a single player. So there you have it. Immortals looks like they finally will grab control of this half before it ends. Let's look if we can find something here with these upgraded pistols. Looks like Immortals, no hesitation, looking to just run it down B. Great entry from Bolts.
They haven't got time to waste at this point. Bolts is just entering all over the shop. JDM will be able to drop one, but the flank is perfect from Zach to finish off his opponent. Stan, again, he's going to be the last one left. Does manage a kill. Picks up a rifle. Had a chance to get a second there, but it will be the 9-6 half. Phenomenal performance from Bolts on those entries. I think he had got like 1 or 2 almost every single round.
Certainly. It's cool to see that, too, because I feel like Immortals usually are a slower team because they have a lot of slower paced players, like whenever they have FNX, like Bolts, usually more of a passive peripheral type player. Steel, in its own right, a lot of his career has been more of like a lurker, a peripheral player. So that really kind of played into the fact that, okay, we can play slower, we'll give Henny a chance to find opportunities with AWP, and we do have someone like Lucas who can be an entry fragger when we actually do want to go for something. But we really saw in a lot of this game, Bolts had no issue like really pushing things at the B platform early, you know, really just getting out there quickly and taking fights. And the last couple of rounds we watched, he had some big entries on the B bomb site. I think both the last 2 rounds in a row, he had 3 kills each round. So, you know, fitting in 6 at the very end to really kind of bolster his kill count for the game was definitely something huge that Immortals had going for them. And so a big half. They already won the first map. They have a good lead coming out of their T side now as well. So this gets a little bit scary for Liquid. I mean, this is a map that when you walk into it and you realize, oh, Immortals have to use a stand-in, this is our game. You know, despite the fact that they've had their troubles against Immortals head-to-head in different scenarios, depending on the map. in the tournament. You know, this is the one where you feel like you have them, and they're almost out of this game now.
Yeah, I do feel though, like on Inferno, the CT side was where they seemed to suffer a little bit more with having the standing in play. Obviously, we do know that Zach will know all their setups. He is, of course, the coach, so he will know the position that he's filling into. But filling in, or knowing the spot and actually filling the shoes are two very different things.
Especially since FNX usually plays B platform for Immortals, and that's one of the biggest pieces of real estate you have to try to hold on to. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a tough responsibility for him. And he will have, you know, Lucas and Steel in the area as well. So we'll see.
Either way, big pistol round coming up. It could be a decent lead starting off. We've had very backwards and forwards beginning to most of these halves in these matches so far. But thus far, Drop and Plat seem to be the positions of contention at the moment. Actually, two players around that sort of chicken coop statue area for the CT side. And already, Steel's going to start things off. JDM is down. The remaining players, bar one, are going to come out this drop down. Look to try and fight things back. Steel is there again, and he's going to get one more. It's Elise to trade back a couple. So many low players at the moment. And Twist, once again, is going to get a double in this pistol round. It's all onto Henny, 14 HP. Got the USP, can't quite connect. The shot's missing. So many opportunities, and Twist will finish. I think 4 kills in the first, 3 kills in the second. This guy has been the master of the pistols.
Definitely a big thing to point out. You're exactly right. Twist has had massive impact in both pistol rounds. That will at least get Liquid an early start on trying to come back in this game. They will be able to buy up all of those luxuries now of the SMGs, and even an AK in the mix already for Elige. Of course, Immortals will buy up everyone except for Henny not taking armor because he wants to be able to get the AWP, obviously. So he will just take a Deagle. And I feel like in rounds like this with the Deagle, you're either going to get the one Deagle or you're not. And so I don't know how much armor really... I mean, it does factor in, obviously, because there are some fights you will take where maybe you're going to have to go for body shots and you'll get chipped. But, yeah. In a situation like that, it's either going to work or it wasn't.
Looking like we may see a more comfortable conversion than what we've had previously from Liquid. They have struggled to actually convert. At least there are 2 follow-up rounds. In the previous, they managed a second, but the third was taken from them. Already cleaning up the majority of players. Don't check onto Zach, though, and he'll be able to at least pick up one. Extra $600 made from him by that UMP. And actually, Steel is still in the chicken coop. Will they check this spot? It won't matter. He'll peek out a little bit preemptively, and while Zach now left to die to the hands of Nitro. So 4 players surviving. No more shenanigans in this round from Immortals. They are just going to be saving.
They are, and so this means that Liquid will be able to tie this game up quickly and start building up some cash, which leaves up to them to have like a very open playbook now because they'll have all the utility they want going forward. JDM should be able to get the AWP as early as he wants. So all their options will be open to them in this half.
Flashbang going to be the only utility he had. That nade could do a hell of a lot of damage, and well, now it's up to Nitro to farm up a little bit of cash alongside JDM, looking to make as much money as humanly possible, and Nitro just continuing this push. Easy frags for him. Eventually gets taken down by Lucas, but JDM very quick to trade. 4 players surviving, and now, well, we'll see how many weapons that actually get bought back up by Liquid, or if they're just going to stick for a bit of a bonus round with all these UMPs.
Yeah, it certainly could. Twist likes to play a lot of drop-down room, and UMP definitely have impact on that spot in close-range fights. It actually tosses it over to JDM, however. And I know that when JDM doesn't have an AWP, they like to use him as kind of like a sacrificial entry-type player, where he'll just kind of go in first to set up someone like Nitro or Elige, or maybe even Twist, depending on. So that maybe that's the idea they have in mind by giving him the UMP. Let him just kind of lead the charge.
Oh, I felt like that was through about 4 legs there. JDM, I think, does actually get tagged, in fact, down to just 37 HP. I have taken a bit of map control in the meantime. Of course, Henny is glass cannon. Wasn't able to do too much with his Deeg, and thus doesn't have enough to actually buy Kevlar. Behind it, Bolts peeks in, but eventually traded out. Molotov will be thrown in for the remaining player, Stan, who's just waiting over towards that B side. But it looks like the rest of the team may be willing to join him at the moment.
Yeah, again, that's the big thing about Liquid. They have so much role flexibility. Like, Nitro's usually the guy that would be playing B platform, and instead it's Stanislaw because they wanted Nitro's entry power over on the other side of the map. He does go down, but Stanislaw has done well to keep presence at B and leave this as an option open for Liquid. Stan will be the one to lead the charge. Sometimes Lurker, but this time looks like he might be a bit of an entry fragger. Again, that role flexibility coming into play as he tries to pour in with Twist, but great hold from Immortals.
Yeah, nice little combo. Holding together, Steel will be able to get the double, and now it's all on to Elise. He's got 30 seconds, no bomb, but he can at least try and make things costly. And actually, a couple of low players. Lucas going to be holding back in the crevice, waiting for him to try and cross over, and he's not going to check the spot. Will be around on the board for Immortals, breaking back once they get their buy on the board, but plenty of money on Liquid side.
Yeah, again, kind of holding on to those UMPs in the previous round and being conservative has left them with still a lot of money to buy despite the round loss. They will have everything at their fingertips. The AWP in JDM's hands, AKs across the board, full utility, and they have such a deep playbook. And they really can do a lot of different things. They can play a lot of different speeds. They have a lot of different executes. But it looks like they might just keep things simple around like this one. Let Nitro work the B platform. It's like kind of a comfort zone for him. Played this through a lot of his career. 1-2 punch of Elysian. Nitro can be quite powerful, and Twist will add on to it.
Straight out he goes. Doesn't actually spot the player on tree, but luckily Twister's got his back. Will be traded one at least, but JDM set up on the platform will be able to deny any further position from Lucas. And now Henny, he's going to go hunting, hoping that somebody will peek into this crosshair. Quick on the trigger as ever. JDM looking tempted, may just give him the chance, but actually just going to molly off his opponent. And now both players forced out of the sight. We'll have to say, but look at the position of Stan. He's already on that rotation. Henny will spot him, and it does leave them with a bit of a problem trying to actually go into the more normal of save spots. Luckily, Henny, again, quick on the trigger. The T's don't want to throw away too many players. They don't have a whole lot of money saved up, and in fact, the damage that has been done will be enough. I think the remaining two players just going to look to hold on to the weaponry they have.
That indeed will be the case. So Liquid will tie the game right back up at 10-all, and it just comes through basically pure brute force from the B-bomb site. Just Nitro, jumping broken wall, and basically what you've been seeing a lot of people do nowadays is just bypassing the site itself. You know, you don't engage the player playing statue or chicken coop, but you just run alongside the tree and kind of push towards drop down room and lose that as a way to kind of wrap around the site. And then people coming out of B platform later can actually push into B, and that's when you just start kind of pinching the side off. And so really well handled by Liquid. Great entry work. That is a tie game on our hands. And Immortals, they will buy up what they can, but obviously limited on utility. And only a couple of UMPs in some of this. Look at Stan, wasting no time coming through drop down room.
It doesn't last long, but it will catch one off guard at least, bringing it into a 4v4. And considering he only had a UMP, the rest of the team are going in a different direction. That's actually worked quite nicely, at least splitting the defense a little bit from this CT side. JDM gonna go peeking into the angle, and while Bolt's crosshair placement on point just takes his head clean off. The rest of the team are gonna go bursting out of middle. But Steel already adding another, and this leaves just Elise and Nitro, the deadly duo, put down to just one Elise, as he has to try and bring this back, and it's not gonna happen. 11-10. One and done for the T side as things get close in the previous round, and now the money not really in a good state.
Immortals read that so well, man. Like, they rotated really quickly. Like, they traded Stanislaw out and dropped, and then that guy quickly shuffled over to A. Bolt to maintain control of long A. No one actually really engaged that except for one player, and Bolt's got that kill. Everyone else came up mid-slope, so he's able to hold on to that spot of the map and use that to kind of retake back in while you had people coming through connector. You already had a player APC, you had a player site. So, yeah, just the rotation for Immortals was really on point there. And Bolt's won a key fight inside of long A to like maintain control of that area of the map. So Immortals come up with one. So right now it's a kind of a slugfest. Everyone just kind of winning a round at a time these last few rounds.
This is a reminder. This is a reminder of the risky buy they actually went for in Inferno. That's sort of one where they don't particularly have too much, and it ultimately led to just a streak of rounds from Immortals because of the economy that actually came into point. So another big one for them. Obviously the CTs yet to really build up too much money of their own. They are sort of playing up close together at the moment, almost a little bit of a bait spot coming in.
It's like Immortals economy. It's like that dangling carrot you're chasing after, right? Like you have to dice roll yourself into it, like we saw in Inferno, like we're seeing now in this round, where you know that if you can win, they will be broken, and you can jump right back into the lead. But if you lose, that just lets Immortals get a little bit more comfortable.
Zach almost getting away with a Mag 7 shot. Both players actually taking the exact same amount of damage, 54 loss, and a teammate each going down. Nitro playing in that corner. Zach actually going to fall out. Obviously, trying to play as close as possible. He doesn't want any long-range battles in this sort of circumstance. And with Henny, the build-up, I was going to say it should be a decent spot, but actually, he is going to get one. Elise trying to shoulder peek him out of the round, and he will do just that. Lucas running back in, evens it up quickly, and actually catches JDM as well. The bomb will be down for Twist. He's only got a Tech 9 to play with, but Lucas running in gives him a chance. But Lucas with a massive round there. 3 kills, denying them on the B site. And that's going to be a 12th.
And also the clock came into play there as well. Twist had no choice but to plant, which means that Lucas could close the distance while he's planting and kind of ensure that the 2v1 doesn't get tricky. So Liquid, they at least get the bomb plant, but they really do have to take a low buy here. If they want to get a chance at another full buy before this game is over, they must be conservative in this round. So they do shave a little bit off the top of their money to get some Tech 9s and a 250, a little bit of utility, but they're making sure that they get a nice full buy in the next round.
Nitro, he's trying the stand tactic, and it's not happening this time. Lucas was prepared, in fact, playing a little bit further back than what we saw previously. Denied at least early on by the Molotov means they are just going to go running in a little bit delayed again on the tree. Elise will be able to pick up one with a Tech 9, but Henny in the flick should be stopping any further problems into this round. JDM forced to fall back, and Bolts is just waiting. Catches his opponent, and that's another round on the board for the CT side.
But the fact that Zach has struggled, you're really seeing Steel step up in both these games. He's been kind of the MVP of this series. He had 27 kills on Inferno. He's at 26 on this one. So he's been kind of the consistent driving force. Despite the fact that Henny's kind of cooled off in this. So really big props to the in-game leader, leading by example when it comes to fragging power, it seems, as they might just put Liquid out of this tournament if they keep this up. They won first map. They're up 13-10 here, but this is a big buy from Liquid. They have full AKs. They sacrificed JDM's AWP to make sure they have a little bit of extra utility.
Double AWPs in play this time for the CT side, but now they're going straight out. Zach in the corner. This time they're there, but he can't quite do it. Steel will be able to trade things back, and he's doing work once again in this round. Or will do the work. Henny is there to trade. Well, blind as well. And this man just seems to pull out weird kills in any scenario, but now it's onto his counterpart this time. JDM, no AWP in play. He's got the rifle in hand, not a weapon he's renowned for. 1 versus 3. Will spot out the first, can't connect, and Lucas, another for him. Puts himself onto 17 kills, but again, it's Steel. Just 2 big kills when they were running out onto the site.
Also, one of the things that factored into that round that isn't as obvious as the big frags is the fact that Bolts got so deep into long A halls and got so much information that it really freed up Henny to rotate rapidly to B, right? They had 4 people on B before Liquid even got out of the B platform. And again, that off-brand chicken coop, unless you flush him out with a Molotov, he's almost always going to get that first kill on the first guy coming out the platform. And that happened again. So good setup from Immortals and just good kills. This time at least clears out Bolts early, so that means that no one can rotate B. In fact, they have to shuffle quite a lot. And Liquid, no hesitation. They're looking to really chase down Immortals members now that they have some room to work with here on the A side. But look at Henny, what is that?
Just styling once again, picks up the trade back in. Spray from Zach is going to do a lot of damage, but he's actually saved by Henny. Just seeming to be a bit of a distraction at the moment, as Henny will go down, but Lucas adding another 2, and this just leaves Twist. 3 survive once again, and it is series point to Immortals.
That was just, again, Henny is so scary whenever he's feeling confident and he's in form. He does these crazy peaks that you just can't anticipate, and it nets him a kill in that round. Also, it was just great to watch that from Zach's perspective, where he's absolutely struggling to make something happen. but Lucas and Hitty are just like, no problem, we got you, man.
Yeah, just everybody just
Don't
falling around
worry.
him while he's just sort of spinning around.
Yep. And now it's
Oh.
map point and series point from Immortals to knock Liquid out of the tournament right here, right now in a 2-0 with a manager. He's a manager. Memes. The stand-in.
Not good for Liquid
Not actually
already.
a manager, of course, though, a coach, but kind of forced it for the meme. Understandable.
Henny already picking up the first 2 kills in this round. Elige is going to be there to finish off the star AWPer for the team, but the rotation already coming in. Actually, Lucas going a little bit further forward than maybe expected. Could actually catch out the bomb. The Twist will win that duel. Unfortunately, in the meantime, Elige has been lost. It's back down to a 3 versus 2. JDM with one more. Twist actually up close is going to catch off Steel. And now it's all on to Zach. This would be one hell of a way to end it, with the coach finishing this game, spotting out Twist, who's actually very low on HP. In fact, he's tagged both of them low enough. The coach getting into a decent position, and the bomb is actually stuck. It has to be JDM to make some sort of play in this round, because Twist, if he peeks out, he's going to be going down, and Zach knows that for sure. He's just going to be waiting for that bomb to make his move. Yeah,
that could
JDM,
easily get flanked by JDM.
I think JDM may have suspected that he's moved. Not expecting him to just sit in the same position. Twist still hasn't made his move, and that's going to be the bomb down onto Zach. He's going to clutch it. The coach finishes it. Impact frags all the way, and Immortals are going to win this series.
Good old Zach, the one that put the exclamation mark at the end of that bold statement from Immortals, that even with the stand-in, we still have the edge over Liquid. And that really has been the case, man. Like, outside of Liquid beating them on Cobblestone in a couple of close games for ECS, pretty much every other time these teams have met, Immortals has bested them, whether it be like splitting mats in EPL, or beating them at DreamHack Austin, or beating them in the Star Ladder qualifiers, or beating them in the IM Katowice qualifiers earlier this year. Twice, actually. Obviously, a little bit different lineups for both teams then, but the core of the team's the same. So it's just like Immortals has that killer instinct, that edge over Liquid a lot of the time. And despite the fact that they were like a man short, so to speak, they still 2-0 Liquid. Liquid will definitely be disappointed with this, I think.
Yeah, of course, they're going to be moving on to the next round. And, well, we're going to be moving on to the next best of 3 relatively shortly, of course. Don't forget, in the meantime, we do have a giveaway going on that you can check out. It will be in the description below. Yep, don't forget to go underneath. And of course, well, you've got the giveaway on screen as well. It is going to be the PC monitor, all the Logitech gear as well. Wonderful stuff. And as said many times, as you've been here for the most of the day so far, you will know that this is a new thing for Subaru. And if you want to give them some tips, if you want to tell them what you want to see in the future, make sure to tweet them at Subaru_USA.
Definitely, it's cool to see them step in. It's cool to see them like be true to the game, you know, keep it authentic, not try to put any type of limitations on anything, and just kind of, you know, leave it up to the community to do what we do best, and kind of keep the competitive integrity intact. So I really appreciate that. Just kind of, you know, being obviously a financial supporter, and you know, trusting in it to be something for them, and just treating it right. So always appreciate that. And so yeah, definitely get on the giveaway. Definitely show them your support on social media as well. Shoot them a message. Let them know you appreciate the event, so they'll keep coming around, as well as maybe some other things that they might be able to do if you have any of your own ideas on what you'd like to see. Just reiterating what all Tom Biz said. But I think we're going to have a break for a little bit here. I know that Luminosity is competing in the America's Minor qualifier right now, so we're going to have a bit of a delay. And the next best video is supposed to start for another 30 minutes anyway. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a break, but when we come back, we'll have some more Subaru Invitational for you, so stay tuned.